Have any of you ever heard of the firm BlackRock? Well, it's one of the world's largest investment firms, but now some questions arising that this firm behind backing up and investing for state pension funds and cities and retirement accounts the world over, particularly in the United States, is doing the bidding in the interest of those it invests for, or is forcing an agenda of which they're entirely unfamiliar. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich is here. He's leading a coalition of at least 19 states right now trying to find out whether BlackRock's leftist agenda or woke agenda is getting in the way of doing what's in the interests of the folks for whom it is supposed to be doing the investing. Attorney General, kind to join us right now. Very good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, Neil. Good to see you, too.
What is the issue you have with BlackRock?
Well, there are several issues, but me and my colleagues are worried that as BlackRock manages literally trillions of dollars investments, including state pension funds, including maybe your 401k or your retirement fund, they have this radical leftist agenda. And as an investment company, as the financial managers, their duty and their obligations are to the people whose funds they're managing, not to some green leftist agenda. And they have a duty of care and an obligation to make sure they're taking care of those folks and not some radical agenda. And as well, there's always concerns that them and other fund manager and big banks are essentially colluding to pressure corporate America to adopt these woke or ESG standards.
Now, BlackRock, I think, has claimed, and we've reached out to them, they've yet to get back to us, but that this is part of a dialogue, not any of this strong arming you talk about. What do you say?
Well, they use the word dialogue, but the reality is that if you look at what they've been doing, they've essentially engaged in hundreds, if not thousands, of dialogues with corporate boards, trying to force them to change the makeup, change the structures, change their policies as it relates to, quote unquote, green energy investments. And so what they are doing is trying to force, companies to not invest in, oil and gas and those types of industries and have the funds move away from those. And as a result of that, and you know this, you're a business guy, when you have less access to capital, it's harder to explore for more oil, drill for new oil, build new refineries. And so they're basically trying to starve industries they don't like, that aren't woke enough or that aren't green enough, into, out of existence for their radical green agenda.
Now, you're saying that BlackRock doesn't even share this information. If this is going on and it prioritizing green initiatives at the expense of traditional energy, investors wouldn't know it, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't know it. And not only that, Neil, they have that fiduciary duty to, maximize returns on investments. And so when we talk about green, if it's your 401k or your retirement plan, the only green you care about is getting, the green bucks, your dollars on that investment. You don't care about whether there's more trees or green trees being planted. And so that's their duty. And if they want to, advance some sort of agenda, they can do it. But they're using state pension funds and your retirement investments to do it, to basically strong arm, other institutions and colluding together with big banks and other financial institutions to starve capital from these, from the fossil fuel industry.
Now, I know the other attorneys general involved in this are from Nebraska, Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky. When I was looking at this, General, they're all Republican-run states, conservative states by nature. BlackRock has exposure in a lot of big so-called blue states like New York and New Jersey. Is this sort of like a red and blue thing? Red states not keen on this, blue states so far okay with this?
That is unfortunate, but I think what we do know is that, and you look at this big, the bloated, green energy bill that just passed, right. To paraphrase Marx, the Democrats seem to want to let 1,000 cylinders bloom. Okay. And so what they are doing essentially is, when the Soviet Union collapsed, communism didn't die. Those folks just ended up in the environmental movement.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Attorney General,
Democrats,
thank you very much. Jumping on you, my friend. We'll have more after this.